Good evening, everyone. This is Larry Phillips, and you've joined us for the fellowship call, Thursday night fellowship call with the Pineville Grace Fellowship, Long Beach Grace Fellowship, and Tennessee Grace Fellowship. So it's three different fellowships coming together, edifying and building one another up in the most holy faith. Tonight, your moderators will be Brother Carl Roberts and Brother Mark Kennedy. And they will be joining us in about 3 minutes when we go over to TalkShoe and get on that platform. By way of announcements, we will be having our Sunday morning services at 10 o'clock Central Time and at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time on Sunday evening. You're welcome to join us on Facebook Live. Also, Monday night, we've got a special guest, Brother Edward Henry, prolific author of The Greatest Lie on Earth, The Antichrist Gospel, Mystery Babylon, Bloody Zion, and the Antichrist Gospel and numerous other books that he has written. He will be talking about how that Zionism is spreading throughout the United States and the world. Good evening, Andre Barros. Welcome aboard. Good to see you with us. You're the first one on board, brother. We're a little early tonight. We'll be going over to TalkShoe in 2 minutes and getting Brother Mark Kennedy and Brother Carl Roberts, who are going to serve us as our moderators tonight. Every once in a while, I'm able to get a little break. Now, as much as I blab off at the mouth, I'm sure that I'll have times during tonight's broadcast where I will not be able to restrain myself. I'll have to say something, but anyway, that's the way it goes. And people saying where it stops, nobody knows. Okay. Anyway, let's see. It's about 2 minutes before we can get into TalkShoe. Tonight is going to be an interesting. You see what the topic is. It's called Charismatics and tomfoolery, and I'm not the one that came up with that topic. That was, if you have any questions about the topic title, you need to talk to Brother Carl Roberts about that. I don't take any responsibility for naming the topic. Okay, we're going to go and see if we can get on TalkShoe here momentarily. Got about a minute. Enough time to have a swig of my black silk coffee from Folgers, and I don't get any reimbursement for advertising black silk coffee, but if you've never tried Folgers black silk coffee, I'd recommend it. It's pretty good stuff, and it's not real expensive. Alan Taylor, welcome aboard tonight. We're going to go over now and see if we can get plugged into TalkShoe. Just stick with me, guys, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to TalkShoe. Please enter your PIN followed by... You are joining the online studio. You are unmuted and can speak with the host.
Well, that's good to know. It's good to see Mark Kennedy's already joined us, so I'll go over there on the other side and look at trying to get their mics unmuted here. It usually takes a minute to do that, and then we'll turn it over to our moderators tonight, Brother Mark Kennedy and Brother Carl Roberts. And I'll let the name of the topic again. I take no anyway.
Recording.
My son, glad this. If you Babs Fellowship. California. We got 3 different fellowships joining us tonight. So that's a good thing. A little bit slow tonight, but it's crawling. So hopefully we will kind of gives a chance for all of our Facebook to come on board by me starting up Facebook first. Kind of gives you guys a jump on things. Okay, it looks like Brother Mark Roberts is already with us. Good evening, Brother Mark.
Hey, Brother Larry, it's Carl.
Brother Carl. Yeah. All right, I want to welcome aboard Brother Carl, Brother Alan Taylor, Brother Mark Kennedy, Brother Andre Barros, Brother Ashley Kinney. Greetings to you too, brother. And I'm glad you're having yourself a cup of coffee as well. Okay. I guess we could call ourselves the Coffee Jesus Club. Anyway. Well, let's see if Mark is checked in over at TalkShoe yet. Brother Carl is with us, and I'm going to let Carl give the name of his topic, which he so artfully named tonight. Brother Carl, I told him I took no responsibility for the name of the topic tonight. So, okay.
Well, me and Brother Mark and I were discussing what we could talk about tonight, and we talked about charismaticism, and we decided to call it charismatic tomfoolery and poppycock, and which are 2 words that I rather enjoy using, but I don't get to use them as frequently as I would like to. So I went ahead and looked in my Webster's dictionary, and the definition of tomfoolery is playful or foolish behavior. And the definition for poppycock, as defined by Webster's, is empty talk or writing, and also nonsense.
Wow.
So I figured, hey.
Well, it certainly does. It certainly sounds like it's applicable. Well, listen, Brother Mark Kennedy has joined us, so I'm going to just kind of turn this over to you guys. And, I may pop in from time to time, but it's your program, and so have at it, guys. Good evening, Brother Mark.
Thank you, Brother Larry. God bless you. Hope you're doing well today.
Thank you.
Hello, Brother Carl. Good to be with you again. I love you. I love you, brothers, dearly.
Love you too.
Yes, sir. It's good. Yes, sir. We love you too.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll start off. What inspired me, Brother Larry, is that video you sent me the other week from this pastor, and it turns out he's in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Yes.
And I sent that story to you guys from The Guardian, and it's already having international adverse ramifications and consequences. And so I just read that story, but evidently the story is that this guy, pastor from this church in Johannesburg, he finagled these funeral homes and a couple of funeral homes and whatnot to be involved with him, and now they're suing him over this stunt that they, that this posed. So I'll just read a little bit of the story from the Guardian story that I sent you the other day. South African pastor sued for fake resurrection. A pastor in South Africa is being sued over a resurrection stunt which has since gone viral and further raised questions about the authenticity of pastoral miracles. The lawsuit stems from a recent video in which Alpha Lukau convinces his congregation that he successfully brought a man back from the dead. The pastor of Hallelujah Ministries is seen standing over an open casket, touching the deceased individual before shouting, "Rise up." The man inside the coffin then sits up as onlookers begin to cheer. The video was filmed outside Lukau's church in Johannesburg. Since the hoax went viral, the BBC reports Kingdom Blue, Kings and Queens Funeral Services, and Black Phoenix are taking legal action against Lukau for allegedly staging the stunt and tricking them into being involved. Lukau reportedly got the coffin from Kingdom Blue and placed Black Phoenix stickers on a private car in an attempt to, quote unquote, look credible to Kings and Queens Funeral Services when they arrived to order a hearse. Now, here's an interesting part, and this is almost done, and there's only one more sentence, and then it's done. There are no such things as miracles. The Commission for the Promotion and Protection of Cultural, Religious, and Linguistic Communities told South Africa's national broadcaster. According to several news reports, Hallelujah Ministries has backtracked on Lukau's resurrection claims and insisted that the man in the coffin was already alive, quote unquote, when he arrived at the church in Kramerville, Sandton. The ministry says the pastor simply completed a miracle that God had already started. Now, see, isn't this interesting? They're doing the same thing that Harold Camping did when he was exposed for mischief. They're backtracking, and they're saying, "Oh, let me specify what I meant. I meant to say that I should have said this and da 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 da." And you know, the really sad part about this is it's bringing reproach on the name of Christ, because this unbelieving world loves to point the finger when things like this happen. See, they're faking it, and it proves that all Christians are fake. No, that just proves that this guy was fake.
Right.
So it's really sad that they're bringing reproach on the name of Christ in doing this.
Right.
Anyway, and I will turn it over to Brother Cog to put any thoughts in that he might want to.
Yes, I totally agree. Having grown up in Charismaticism and also Pentecostalism for a brief time, as I got older, I resented Christianity, and for that reason, coming out of those movements like I did when I was 16, I knew that it was fake. And I used that as an excuse to attack, Christians that I would come across, in my daily life. And you're exactly right, Brother Mark. People hear about, Benny Hinn and Todd White and Bill Johnson and, Perry Stone being another one, David Hogan. The list goes on and on and on. Michael Brown, and even the unregenerate sinner can see that these people are total charlatans. And I mean, it's really disgusting. I have a clip that I want to play. It's about 3 minutes, but I wanted to wait till right at 7 to do it because I wanted to make sure that everybody was here.
Okay.
Yeah, I played it. So, Brother Larry, you just let me know whenever you think is a good time, and I'll play this clip here and sort of give people a frame of reference of what me and it's just further clarification of what me and Brother Mark are talking about tonight. And I'd like to also state publicly that, and this might shock some people, but I'm not a total cessationist. In other words, I believe that God is sovereign and that he can heal somebody today if he chooses to do
Sure.
that.
Amen.
I believe that if God needs to get the gospel to someone younger or someone that's never, heard a mission, heard someone speak
Right.
a actual other tongue before,
Right.
that God will call that person to hear the gospel in their own language. I believe that with all of my heart. And right, yes, sir. And these people that me and Brother Mark are calling out tonight, I mean, these aren't just people that are, have been raised by the wrong traditions and are just deceived and have a really sincere heart. Because there are people that are deceived,
Right.
that mean really well, that mean well, that are in these movements. What me and Brother Mark are talking about is we're talking about charlatans and people like this guy who paid this person to give him this coffin. And you can see him moving. You can see the guy moving around.
Right.
I mean, and it's it seems so, these people obviously pick these parts of the world to go into that have these pagan superstitious religions. And they come in there with this charismaticism, charismatic nonsense. And it's just like a second nature for these people to pick it up because it's basically like witchcraft.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yep.
Right.
It's total nonsense, total tomfoolery and poppycock. But, again, I believe that God can do what he wants to. And if he wants to, preach the gospel to someone using somebody else speaking an unknown tongue, he can do that. But I in no way, shape, or form believe that Benny Hinn does it, or Perry Stone does it, or David Hogan does it, or, it's like James White's ministry the other day whenever I contacted them, for to play a clip here at the top of the hour here. And this is the same guy that I play. This is not the same clip. This is the same person that I played for Rich at Alpha and Omega Ministries. Whenever I got done calling this guy and Michael Brown out, I was told by Alpha and Omega Ministries, right, that this is just charismaticism and these people aren't hurting anybody. And that if I come against somebody like this, I'm indicting all of TBN and all of charismaticism, which is fine with me because that's my intent.
Right. Right.
And they deserve it.
Hey, I wanted
They
to.
deserve.
Yeah, I wanted to let you know that we have had quite a few guests pop up. We've got Andre Barros, we've got Alan Taylor, we've got Ashley Kinney, we've got Michael David McCord, we've got MJ Abeles, and we have Benny Green. And I'm sure I would probably wait at least a couple more minutes because on the announcements we sent out, we were going to start at 6:00 Central. So welcome aboard, everyone. Yeah. We hope that this broadcast is edifying. And I totally agree with Brother Carl. God is not limited by time or space or rules of man. Okay? He is not dependent upon his creature, and he is not obligated to do anything other than honor his word and to glorify himself. That's his purpose. And so
that's right.
I would totally agree with Brother Mark and Brother Carl that God used a donkey in the Old Testament. He used a big fish in the Old Testament to swallow up Jonah. We see the miracles that he did in the New Testament. He turned water into wine. He raised Lazarus from the dead. But I do agree with what Brother Mark said, and I would concur with him. My own experience with the Charismatics has been the same as Brother Carl's, and it's all been absolutely fakery and absolutely, I've been to Benny Hinn. I've been to a Benny Hinn event, okay, in my past. I've been to St. Louis to the Benny Hinn event, where he was throwing people across the stage, supposedly. I've been to some of these crazy, absolutely crazy things going on. I was at an event in Kansas City, and by the way, a lot of this is not just fakery. A lot of it is actually satanic. It's satanic.